evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 7, Episode 20, the next drone for DJI. I hope everyone is doing well this evening. Let's see who's in the chat here. I know we got a house full already. CT Pirate, Akarasho, Jaybird, Leonard Oglesby, Lauren is here. Let's see who else we got. Richard is here. Drone Views Media, Flying Plim. John is here. Welcome. Captain Ray is here. Welcome. Some housekeeping to note. I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday or today? Yeah. I think yesterday was Philly Drone Life Mikey's birthday. So a happy birthday, Mikey, to you. And our good friend Art is over in the Philippines. He had safe travels over there. He's been posting messages and updates. So hope you have a great time out there, Art, and enjoy your stay out in the Philippines. Actually do have some things to talk about tonight, believe it or not. The first thing that I want to talk about here, hang on a second. I need to go ahead and bring that up. I wanted to talk about it, and I thought I was going to have it ready to go, but of course, no, I didn't do that. So, bad for me here. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of, Mr. Peabody's Wayback Machine here. If you guys know that, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Last year was a year ago. I broke my hand, hit my head. Had to miss going to Ohio in 3 days. Had to have a cast for 2 months, rehab, physical therapy for 3 months, and new set of $400 later, new set of glasses as well. So it was not a date that I really choose to remember, but I do want to say this. I'm very thankful that I didn't get more seriously injured, because it could have been very serious. CT scan was negative, although Valerie says I'm, really kind of wonky up there anyway. So, but yeah, it's kind of like one of those flashbacks that I really didn't want to remember, but it came up on my memories timeline today on Facebook, and I wanted to repost it. And I wanted to thank personally, my mother-in-law, Janice Masters, Valerie's mom. She just right away sprung into action, got me an ice pack, got Band-Aids out, just had me sit down. They helped me up. People there helped me up. And Valerie drove me to the standalone emergency room. We have a great one. It's like 2 minutes from us. And they were able to have a CT scan. They did that. And my skull was fine. No problems there. They did do the x-ray on the hand and showed it was broken, and went to Florida Orthopedic, and the rest is history. And you can see probably right here. I don't know if I could try to show that to you, but that finger, it's kind of hard to show. That finger is going to be bent. You can probably see that right there. It doesn't look as bad as it does from that angle. I mean, you can see how straight that one is, and that's not really straight. So, but anyway, okay. Yeah, can't tag on an iPad. Yeah, pretty much CT Pirate. That's probably about it. And I also can't use the Pickles finger of fate on my left hand. And Valerie says, no big deal. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's kind of a big deal, but no, I'm just kidding. So, all right. Okay. This week is a big week for us in the fact we are going up to Ohio on Thursday, going to be spending Thursday and Saturday with my daughter, son-in-law, and my 2 granddaughters. Going to spend some time with them. Friday is ham convention. And for those of you that know ham radio, it's the largest ham radio convention in the world. Or I don't even want to use the word convention. It's the largest ham radio gathering in the world. Probably they had about 30,000 or so at Hamcation in Orlando. Probably figure maybe about 50 or 60,000 are going to be here. And it's real nice because it's not far from where my daughter, son-in-law, and granddaughters live, and my sons live in Columbus too. So, hopefully we'll get to spend some time with my sons as well. But we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to be taking my Osmo Action 4 out, and my DJI mic 2. That's primarily going to be used for recording, and it's going to be a lot of walking, but a lot of fun. But unfortunately, the weather forecast is calling for a lot of rain. I mean, just a lot of rain. So 80% chance on Friday, which is great. We're going to park in a paved lot, actually the high school, and they run a shuttle from the high school over to the fairgrounds, which is about a 5-minute drive. But the fairgrounds itself, it's all parking on grass. So we're not even going to attempt that. So, okay. All right. Enough said. Enough about all that. Have new video out today. DJI Mavic 3 Pro endurance test. I've really kind of put the Mavic 3 Pro through its paces. So get a chance to get out there and watch that. It's a good video. I really kind of stuck it to it. So, excuse me. Okay. Did another test. I had another DJI Mavic 3 charger by LK Top. That's going to be coming out later this week. Have another video coming out, I think on Monday, if not Tuesday, on the DJI Air 3, and we did it a high wind test during that day. So very similar to the Mavic Mini 4 Pro high wind test that we did. So got a lot of content coming out. Also, okay, I did some research through the archives, and what I found in the archives was I found the first episode that Ron was on Rotor Talk Live, and it was called Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live back then. I found, Marcus let me know about the first episode, first time all three of us got together. And there's a couple other landmark ones. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be posting them both here. It's kind of like a flashback, so you guys can go ahead and watch that. And then also on Bill the Drone Reviewer, the other channel that I have, the Bill the Drone Reviewer Classics. I'm going to be doing a lot of that on that channel as well too. Going to try to get that kick started and go over some older landmark videos. Okay. Oh wow. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Y'all know last week we talked about this, and okay. Connecticut DJI drone ban stalls as company ups data safety and info. Okay. We're going to take a look at this article. I wanted to share this with you guys. Go ahead and do that. There we go. Okay. Connecticut DJI drone ban stalls as company ups data. DJI consumer drones. There's a chart right here. Connecticut lawmakers push to pass a raft of bills facing expiration when the state's legislative session ended Thursday, with a measure containing the proposed ban on DJI drones being among those not voted through in time. The text called for prohibiting state and municipal agencies from operating a craft based on thus far entirely unsubstantiated allegations that they can leak data to government servers in China. These allegations have been made to justify similar bans by federal agencies in 4 U.S. states, despite there being very little evidence of third-party interception of data from DJI drones and nothing to suggest transmission from the craft went to Chinese servers. Okay. There are also grounds for the current Countering CCP Drones Act moving through the U.S. House of Representatives, which seeks de facto prohibition of using DJI drones in the country by anyone, including enterprise and individual pilots. Florida, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee have all imposed legal blacklisting of DJI drones in official operations. Similar attempts by other states and cities, however, have fallen to opposition from public safety and first responders who describe the UAVs as both secure and vital to their work. Okay. And there's a more of a continuation down here as well. DJI launched the Trust Center to help customers worried by allegations to further safeguard their UAVs. The web asset contains a list of and tutorials on how to use the privacy controls available to companies, consumer, or enterprise drone users. It also includes DJI's drone security white paper outlining the built-in security protections and additional configuration enhancements in crafts feature. Okay. I'll let you guys read that at your leisure, but basically, that's kind of good news because they didn't act on it, and there wasn't any urgency to do that, and that's a good thing to prevent that. As I live in the state of Florida, and first responder organizations can't use DJI drones. That's the way it is, and it's a shame. It's a darn shame that, and politics aside, I don't care, Republican or Democrat, for first responders, it's a must. You got to have that. And, they've shown time and time and time again, we beat that into the ground and into complete submission about, nobody's proved anything about this, and they have been shown to save lives. And, as the old movie goes, the old saying goes, show me the money. Okay. And nobody can. So, all right. Enough said on that. All right. Welcome, Joe. Good to see you tonight. And it's something that we need to understand here. And I wanted to take just another quick second. There was another article, and I posted it out on Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group. I don't want to go over it, but it's really kind of rehashing things. And it's from, again, it doesn't matter which side of the aisle it's from. All right. This one was used to work in the House of Representatives for the Republicans. And she got out there and she just blasted it and said it was, not from a Republican standpoint, but from the standpoint of, here we go again. We're trying to blacklist a company. There's no proof on this. You get a chance to go out there and read that. That's a great article. I know some of you all have already seen that. So, oh, wow, Mark, sorry to hear that. So yeah. So, that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up to you guys and to let you know about that. And, the best thing about all this is, and one of the things that I wanted to say to everybody is, it's a lot of it's an alarmist attitude. It's just, this is not going to go anywhere. Okay. It's been sitting there stalling, and, I get alerts all the time, and I have Google set up to give me alerts on that. And there has been nothing and no movement on this for several weeks. And Congress is going to be in recess soon for the summer. So I don't see anything happening on this. And I really think that this is just going to go away. I really do. I don't see, like I said, I don't see anything going on this. Well, Gerald, thank you for stopping by. We really appreciate it. We know a lot of you watch at very different time zones than 8 p.m. Eastern time here in the United States. So we appreciate everybody who does that. We really, really do. Okay. Yeah, Jay Bird, I agree. It's all smoke. So, all right. When this first came out with DJI drones, it was a big deal. And I still think it is a big deal because, the original purpose and intent behind this is, oh, I forgot my SD card. I can't fly my drone. Well, you do. And you have internal storage. And there was an article on Drone DJ that actually went over the DJI drones that have that. So I thought I'd spend a few minutes and we could go ahead and see which ones actually have internal storage here. Okay. And we're going to list them. The DJI Mini 3 Pro has 1.2 gigabytes. The DJI Mini 4 Pro has 2 gigabytes. The Air 2S has 8 gigabytes. The Air 3 has 8 gigabytes. The Mavic 3 series has 8 gigabytes. And the Mavic 3 Cinematic, Mavic 3 Pro Cine has 1 terabyte SSD. The Avata has 20 gigabytes. The Avata 2 has 46 gigabytes. The DJI RC2 has 8 gigabytes, and that's the controller. DJI RC has 8 gigabytes. DJI RC Pro has a ROM 32 gigabytes, expandable storage via micro SD card, and DJI Smart Controller has 16 gigabytes. So this is good information, and this is good to know. It does come in handy at times. It can, we all make mistakes. We all can, in a hurry to get out and fly something. The weather's nice, and and you remember everything except an SD card. And well, I got to tell you this. I learned this early on because I did this a couple times. When we lived at the other place. Unfortunately, very fortunately, I was flying from my home, so it was like a 30-second jaunt back to my room to get the SD card and put it in. One of the things that I do before I go out, I have a mental checklist, and on that mental checklist, besides things like batteries, controller, my recording equipment, I make sure and I double check. I flip that door to the SD card and I put my thumb down, push it in, push it out, make sure it's there. So I won't have that. And the other thing that I do, and I think it's a good habit, and I forget the name of the gentleman who spoke at the South Florida Drone Meetup. Captain Ray had him speak, and he's a great guy. One of the things that he said, when you're done immediately with that, I'll offload it and then delete what's on there, so it'll be ready to go for next time. And that's something I have always done. Is after I've downloaded it onto my PC, my video footage, I before I stick it back in the drone, I make sure it's in another folder, and then I go ahead and I delete it so it's gone, so I don't have it. So that's a good habit to get into if you guys want to do that. Drone Shots, welcome, good to see you tonight. So that's something I would highly recommend doing for you guys. When you go out and fly, is when you come back, and you download your footage. After you're done downloading your footage, and you make sure it's in a secure folder where it's not going to get touched, go out to the SD card and delete it off of there. That way, when you reload it back on the drone, you're good to go, and you have plenty of room on that SD card. I will say this: I've never run out of space on an SD card on a drone. However, earlier this year, when I was at Hamcation using the Osmo Action 1 or the Osmo Action, sure enough, I had filmed some stuff before on Friday, and we went back out on Saturday. And when I was there 20 minutes into it, boom, SD card full. I didn't download. Well, I did download, but I didn't do what I just said that I normally do with the drones, is delete those files out there. So yeah, that was definitely my bad on that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good to see everybody here tonight. And, one of the things right now, this is a really good article. And I saw this on Drone XL on High's website. And, the talk has been, everybody's been talking about the Mini 4, okay, Mini 4K, and there has just been a firestorm of talk about it. There he is.
Hello, Bill. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well, Ron. I'm seeing you're wearing your shirt from Michael there.
Yeah, my Tex Arch drone guy.
All right. Yeah, how are you, sir?
How's the show going tonight?
Pretty good. We actually had an event here in Florida today. It rained for 15 minutes today.
Oh, okay.
Trust me. Okay, when I say that, because we're undergoing a drought right now, that is big news. That's big headline news. Valerie said at work, because I work from home part of the week. At her work, it rained over there and it rained here. So that was some good news. So we had at least 15, 20 minutes worth of rain today.
Yeah, somebody in Florida said for a while it looked like it was the end of the world coming, and then just an hour or two later it looked real nice.
Yeah, and it's like that. And see what they do in our development. All right, the HOA has a sprinkler. See, we pay in our HOA dues to pay for watering. All right, up and down the main boulevard. Everything is green and lush and everything. At the entrance, it looks nice. Flowers are blooming, everything. You go into people's yards, there's major brown patches all over.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Huh. It's just one of those things. I don't know if you saw this or not. I was getting ready to share this, that the Mini 4K is now on sale in China. I don't know if you saw this or not.
Well, I saw the thing on, but I couldn't read it. I couldn't make a lot of it because a lot of Chinese characters and foreign prices here. So what's the deal on this? Because initially this drone was only available in the U.S., North America, and Europe. Correct, Bill?
Correct. Sales details leaked, shared by Ositalev. And Ositalev, prominent figure on Twitter for reliable DJI leaks, shared details of the offer, emphasizing substantial price drop and interest-free payment terms over 6 months. It's about $371 US. The Mini 4K's price has been slashed to just $14.99 yuan, approximately $214 US, exclusively for buyers in China. This nearly 42% discount is part of DJI's strategy to to broaden its user base within the Chinese market. Okay. And he talks about it. I just really find it interesting that they said that this was just going to be for North America, and then all of a sudden it pops up in China.
Well, but do you think that was for the fact that some people ordered this drone and it arrived the same day? Do you think it was to make availability real good in the North America and Europe, and that can be a lot of units available for speedy delivery, not have to compete with the rest of the world on launch day?
True. That's a real good point, Ron.
I mean, I'm just spitballing here, but
I know.
That's $214 price point. What's that going to do to the rest of the? I'm going to call it the second tier drones over in China. Your Hubsan and Femis and your Seaflies and all those people. What's that going to do to their sales if that Mini 4K is sitting below their price points?
That's a really good question, Ron. That's and I was thinking the same thing myself, because they're very aggressively priced over there, and if they've undercut them with this, there's probably going to be a little bit of a turf war.
It's been a rough day to be the CEO of like Femi and Seafly and those type of companies today, isn't it?
Yeah, it really would. And the other thing with all this too, and I wanted to kind of
just to finish up, because the way to defeat DJI for those companies was always the underpriced DJI. There he goes, right on cue. But Bill, don't you think that was their main weapon, was the underpriced DJI? The second tier drone?
Oh yeah, with Seafly and Femi and everybody. Oh yeah,
Marcus, Bill's got a Mini 4K for $214.
Really?
That's the going right over in China. It just got released in China, and they're really slashed prices.
Yeah, I saw that article as well. That is, and I'll be honest with you, Bill, I didn't quite understand it. I thought, well,
I said the same thing. I didn't know what was going on either. I saw it, but it was so.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like you guys. It just it was just going to be North American market and not Europe or anywhere else, and then boom, this comes up.
Well, Bill, we just put 100% tariff on their electric cars, so why wouldn't they sell their drones for more here?
Yeah. I don't know.
This drone will be a big success in China at those price points, right?
Listen, that drone is going to be a big success everywhere. And Ron, I give you all the credit in the world, because you've said that all along. With the original minis, it was all about the price point. And I just think that is the absolute truth. And you can buy a DJI drone for $300. You're going to pull out of the box. You're going to get some fantastic 4K footage, and it's going to work. It's going to have OcuSync. It's going to have fantastic flight controls. Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
And Mark, let's elaborate a little bit of what you were saying there. A lot of people used to make a big deal about the 249-gram drones, the DJI Minis under 249-gram drones. And we've been saying for a couple of years ago, it's not the 249-gram drones that's selling the weight to most shoppers in the U.S. It's the price point.
Yeah, because sub 250, as we've discussed many times, is really almost meaningless in the U.S. Now,
there are the diehards. I don't want to register my drone people.
Right. Yeah. There's diehard, just don't want the government in their business.
Right.
So they don't want to register a drone. But other than that, what's the difference? Sub 250, over 250 in this country. Now it's different, obviously, as we know. Yeah. In Canada and in Europe, there's advantages to sub 250 products.
We got the remote ID thing in there too. You don't need remote ID for the under 250 grammars.
You don't. Although I'll be honest with you, Ron, I kind of wish that they'd included remote ID.
Well, you said they kind of did or whatever. It's just not turned on the U.S.
In the U.S., so I thought that was so interesting in that update that they said that it added remote ID for some countries. Well, evidently countries that require it. I don't know which countries those are. It's not the U.S. However, if you know, not that you would buy that drone for commercial work, but if you ever needed it for something, you'd have to slap a module on it.
Right, but of course, DJI, what you're saying is end users, like we had the guy in our lunch party show, he's going to use it for mapping. But when the DJI marketing department, whatever, when they design a drone like this, they don't take into account all that it may be used for professional enterprise work. They're making this drone for the opposite of those people, whatever, the people that are going to try to use as an enterprise drone or whatever, they're going against DJI's thought process for
that. Well, let me run this one by you then, guys. So we know that the FAA says that remote ID cannot be defeatable on a standard remote
no
ID.
off button.
Yeah, you can't put a switch, an on-off switch on there. However, it would be nice if, say, you were registering it as a Part 107 drone, if it could then turn that switch on.
But that would be a one-time only switch.
Right.
Yeah.
Only if you registered it as a Part 107 drone.
Right. But again, I don't think that's what DJI's market intended. You want to
Totally
do
agree.
They want you to jump to a higher price point.
I'll put an exclamation.
They don't want people doing that at that low price point.
I totally agree with you, Ron. You're spot on.
Yeah. In this deal over in China doesn't start till May 24th. Okay, so
we got a couple of days or a week or so. Yeah.
So you guys may have already talked about this, so excuse me for coming in late.
No,
but the Specta drone that, according to Jack over at Half Chrome, they're coming out of the same factory. He says that they're the identical product, that Specta Mini and the Mini 4K. He says they're all but identical. Now, so price then really does become an issue. So for Cogito to be able to sell that product in the U.S., it's going to have to be cheaper than DJI, right? I mean, it would.
Yeah.
Because they don't have support for it at this point.
Yeah, what's real interesting here, and I'm glad you brought this up, Marcus, because that's something I wanted to talk about. I've received, like static from them. All right. I finally got an answer from the sales team saying that my contact's name, Tony, that's the guy's name who I gave you, said everything's fine. We're going to be having an update coming out here shortly. And I think what they were doing was they were waiting for the timing of DJI's announcement here with this, okay? Because I think we're going to be seeing something forthcoming very shortly about this, because they've still held off, because they haven't even answered. I keep pressing them about just, for example, the accessories for the Specta Air, the props and the battery, okay? When are you guys, coming out with these? When are they going to be on the website? And it's just been static. I haven't heard anything. But I pressed them on the issue in general of the release of the Mini. And I can tell you, I don't have the Mini 4K, but I do have the Specta Mini. And I would say, without a doubt, it's probably, I think Jack's right. Even without having the Mini 4K, I can tell you that's going to be the same drone. Okay. Really, in all ways, shapes, or forms. It flew real well. See, I'm not under NDA, but I can't release it till they tell me to release it.
Right,
okay?
right.
I'd love to be able to share that with you guys, but it flew flawlessly. I had no problems with it. The video footage was crisp, was clear, was exactly as a DJI drone.
I just thought of something, Bill, that is a differentiator that I wasn't thinking about before. It's that the Specta Mini does come with the all-in-one DJI RC style controller instead of the RC N2.
It comes. Here's the controller. Hang on.
Also, it doesn't have. Okay.
You're thinking of the one. It's like the Air 3.
Yeah, okay, I was wrong.
The Specta Air has the all-in-one.
Yeah. Thank you.
This is the one that came. Except for not saying DJI on here, this is a DJI.
Okay.
Seriously, if you look at it, and of course, there's the antenna. That's just
right.
Exactly.
Hey, Bill, we talked about this a little bit on Drone Nation last night, but I think it's worth bringing up briefly. Bill, did you see Jack Half Crone's video where he compared the video quality from the, what drones did Marcus? Now I got myself confused. He compared the the Mini 2.
The Mini 2 with
the Mini 4K, but at the end he revealed that it was really the Spectra,
Cojito Mini,
4K, and there definitely was a difference in the video. I won't say the video quality, but the colors. It definitely didn't look like the same camera. The 4K had kind of more of a darker HDR look or whatever, where the other one was kind of more overexposed, colors a little washed out or whatever. So they were definitely different cameras.
Yeah. And I know
what one's better than the other. It may just be your color preference or whatever. I don't mean the the 4K looks any different, but it definitely was different cameras.
I need to do that comparison, Ron.
Well, I can tell you from the footage from this. You know what? I can't play the video, but you know what? Let me bring this up here. Hang on a second here. Okay.
Yeah, you could play some footage, but still, price wise, okay, it's not going to have the up to date firmware that DJI has, particularly with their Air 3 copy or whatever. They're gonna have to compete on price. They don't have service and warranty and care refresh and those things. So it's gonna have to be a significant price difference. And on that little 4K, it's got to be more than like $20. I mean, what do you think, guys? I think it'd have to be at least a $50.
Yeah, there were rumors of the Specta Mini being $250, but even I don't know, $50 to me is worth getting all the support from DJI.
You and me both, but
yeah.
Point well taken, Ron.
Well, here's some the video on. I want to show what it looks like.
Hit the button inside the video to make it full screen, Bill. Then we can see the quality a little bit better. There you go. There we go. That's better. And like in Jack's video, that matches what looked like in Jack's video.
Yeah, see, it does not. I think it looks good. Okay, it's not, and it may be a little, like you said, overexposed. But again, I'm in Florida and it's sunny and it's bright.
Yeah,
and everything. So
yeah, you didn't have ND on it or anything.
Yeah. So I mean, all in all, I mean, it's really. With this teaser I'm giving you guys, I was nothing but impressed by this. Okay.
By the way, Ron, you brought it up. I just want everybody to know that your Mavic Mini ND filters fit fine on the Mini 4K. So
okay, good.
Yeah. So this I was going to cover an update with the Specta anyway, and this kind of took care of that. But I'm anxious to get this video out so everybody could see it. I mean, it's just I'm still waiting on them, and I think they were waiting on DJI. So I think something's going to happen here real shortly with all this too. So
well, I wrote that guy that you the contact information you gave me, Bill, and I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, he hasn't responded back to me for almost 2 weeks. I did get a response from the sales department. So
listen, for all we know, it's 5 people in an office in Hong Kong, right? I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think it's real big here.
With a couple thousand emails in his inbox.
Right.
Yeah. So
nothing to beat the footage of the Mavic 3. Yeah, I mean, Gerard there. Yeah, this isn't going to touch the
apples and oranges.
It's apples and oranges. One things that I wanted to spend a few minutes on tonight was, we've gone through. It's now, pretty much going to be towards the end of May. We're past the middle of May. We're getting, we're
almost at the halfway point, Bill.
Yeah, we're almost at the halfway point this year. What are we going to see next? We saw the Avata 2s come out, and it has nothing but rave reviews. Just
a drone we expected.
It was a drone that we
compared to a drone like the Mini 4K, which we did not expect,
and we didn't expect the Mini 4K.
Look, can I expand on that just one little bit? So I kind of had a feeling that we would see a new version of an SE style drone. But I thought it would probably be the newer form factor of the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro, or even the Mini 3. But it's not, which is no big deal. But I thought it was interesting that they stayed with that previous form factor and still took the leap to 4K.
Right. And Bill, I think too that a lot of people heard rumors of a Mini coming, but they thought it was going to be a Mini Avata. But it turned out to be a Mini 4K instead.
Right. Now, the other ones, and I'm just going to go on time cycles here, okay?
Yeah.
The Mavic 3, when it originally came out, it's over 2 years old. Am I right?
Yeah, it'll be 3 years this November.
Yeah, this November.
3 years in November. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I don't want to use the phrase long in the tooth, but it's been out for a while. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The other one that people have been talking about is another version of the Air, and they want to say an Air 3S, or, do they dare even go and jump the shark and say an Air 4? All right.
Or Air Pro, I hear.
Or Air Pro, something along those lines. What's going to come next in that iteration? All right. And that's and see, here's the thing with this, and this is the thing.
And don't forget the Mini 5, Bill, before you get too far.
The Mini 5, and now I think we'll see something along the lines of a Mini 5 towards the end of the year. They've been that's one thing DJI's been, a company that's been inconsistent about stuff. They've been consistent about when they've released their.
Well, they jumped the shark last year and put it out in September, or was it August?
September? Yeah, they kind of jumped it earlier a little bit, but it's almost always towards the end of the years when they're doing that. Okay, so I'm thinking we're going to see something either along the Mavic line or along an Air line right now. Okay, is what I'm thinking. But and this is a question that we pose to each other ad nauseum. When we're talking about this. How can you make a better drone than the Mavic 3 Pro? Okay. And I think Marcus would agree with me. Right now you can't, in my book. All right. Just the footage that I get.
And keep it at the same price point.
Exactly. And keep that at the same price point. Okay?
You can always make something better if you're going to double the price.
Exactly. Okay. And remember, and we prepared everybody. I mean, I was preaching
ad
nauseum. Be prepared for the Mavic 3. It's gonna be a pricey drone.
I mean, they didn't listen to us. A lot of people were real upset when that came out.
You better put Eddie's comment up there too, Bill. Eddie.
Yeah. So
Well, Bill, let me ask you this question: all these drones, which one of these drones begs for an update?
Okay, well, the Mavic is begging for an update, but okay, and I'm gonna throw this caveat out there. All right, one of my more popular groups, my Facebook groups. All right, the Mini is by far the most popular, but second, and it's nothing. The other ones aren't even close. Is the Air group? Okay. People love that drone. And, if you hold a gun to my head, I'm going to be hard pressed to tell you whether I like the Air 3 or the Mavic 3 Pro. Okay.
Well, Bill, that begs another question. How are they going to improve the Air 3 and keep the price at $1099?
Yeah. See,
already we're in the ballpark.
So both those drones, when you're talking about the Air 3 or the Mavic 4, optical zoom is an obvious one.
Right.
Right. Is that even possible? I don't know, but
anything's possible if enough money's thrown at it, or you pay enough money for it. So I mean, I want optical zoom, but I don't want my prices doubled.
Well, and that's what I suspect that when we see a Mavic 4, they're going to take it that next step up to the prosumer level. That it's going to have some of those kind of features, Ron, but you're going to pay for them. And it's going to be more aimed at, in between professional work and a very, very serious amateur, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Marcus 100%. Yeah. That's where that's heading, and that's where that's going. Okay. And what
here's a better way to explain it: an Eddie Nunez type drone.
Yeah. Well, here's a popular rumor going around, Bill, and this could be all bull. I don't be popular rumor by Igor, just popular rumor here that the Mavic 4 have a full frame camera sensor on it. Well, right there you go. It's a $5,000 drone minimum.
Oh, yeah.
if you put some kind of full frame.
You better cash in one of your 401ks, because this isn't a drone that you can pull your plastic out for.
Is that even needed, Ron? I mean, what is the advantage of full frame? I mean, unless you're doing like cinema work or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, here better low light, you know what I mean? More resolution and whatever to crop in, like maybe that'll be their way. Well, we won't give you optical zoom. We'll just give you a full frame at 5, 6, 8K or whatever, and you just crop in on post or whatever. I mean, some of the reasons people buy full frame real cameras is to get bokeh or whatever, but I mean, I don't know if you need bokeh in your drone. I mean, you're not doing a model shoot. I don't know how much you need the bokeh for a thing, but and just a selling point. You write a full frame on it whenever, you could charge a lot more money for it then.
True. Yeah, absolutely. And I see what you're making a lot of sense with this, Ron, because if this is the natural progression of things, all right, you're going to see the Air series really kind of be what the Mavic series was like 2-3 years ago. Okay?
Exactly. That could be the plan, Bill. If they do blow the water out of the expensive Mavic 4, then they say they bump the Air up $500 and make it like kind of like a Mavic 3 replacement.
Because the Mavic series now is really, in essence, it's going to be like the Inspire was. All right. Because the Inspire was a drone, not the 3, but the 1 and the 2, if you want to call it that. They were a drone that kind of bridged the gap between the hobbyist and the professional and the semi-professional. Okay. And it did it well. And that's what I see in Mavic 4 doing. I see that becoming the next type of Inspire. And it will be at a price point, and hear me out, those of you in the chat, it'll be at a price point that'll be affordable for professionals. All right. Because if you're a professional, if you're saying, and I'll just use my good friend Ken Dono, Original Dobo. Okay. I consider him a professional. All right. He can, that's an investment for his business. He can do something like that. Okay. Or maybe a Billy Kyle. Okay. Again, for his business, he still has a drone business out there that I think he has, these are things that are going to be geared toward them, not toward us, because, everybody's going to pop a cork when you see the price for the Mavic 4 and go, oh my God, I got to cash my 401k in for this and and I think it's going to be a lot like what Marcus says, like when he talks about when the Inspire 3 came out, there's a lot of things on there that I are not even going to be able to begin to touch. Okay. And I think that's going to be the case on the Mavic 4, okay, for most people out there. There are going to be bells and whistles and features on there that are, for hobbyists, are really not going to apply to us. I mean, really, in essence, okay, it's going to be more, this, if you want to jump the shark, and I'll call it an Air 4, just for an example, okay, that's going to apply more to hobbyists and to a majority of us out there, okay, and it's still going to be in the affordable range. It might, you might see a hefty increase, but you're going to see things like a better battery with that and longer run times with that, maybe a better range with that, better obstacle avoidance, better camera system on there. There's a whole host of things with that.
That's one of the things that would be interesting, is if they could come up with some sort of GPS tracking similar to what Skydio did.
Yeah. I mean, and see, and there's a void that's now been left, was Skydio leaving, okay, and all this, and I still, we talked a little bit earlier about it, and I know we're talking about drones this year, but that Connecticut bill stalled, and they broke for the summer, and they didn't do anything about it. Okay, that drone ban in Connecticut. So that's kind of, and I see that
it didn't pass, so the first responders could still use the DJI drones, the police, fire, whatever. It didn't get enough votes to pass. Whether it comes up again in the future, that's not unknown at this point, but it did not receive the votes.
Right. And then the other thing was, with this Countering CCP Act, with our good friend Elise Stefanik, there's been no activity out there. I have Google alerts set up to anytime, countering CCP Drone Act or DJI drone ban or things like that. Everything that's been popping up on my timeline about it, any notice that I get, is old news. Okay. There's been nothing on this for weeks. Okay. So I think, like we saw, Russ had a great video. This is just going to die a slow death. They're just going to let it, it's like that legislation. They just let it go and it expires or something like that. I think this is going to be the same thing with this.
Yeah, I think we need to ride all this out past the November election period, and then it'll really kind of be tabled for a while.
Oh yeah, I don't see this going anywhere. I really don't. I think it's just gonna be like a vapor in the mist. It's gonna be gone. It's just gonna be totally gone. Okay, but getting back to this whole thing about this, a Mini 5, okay, coming out say October or November. All right, wow. What do you want with the Mini 4 Pro that does everything and it does it well?
Yeah.
I
can't imagine what the Mini 5 can do better. But actually, once they get the Mini 5 so good, I may just I may only fly Mini 5 anymore if they get that good. I don't even need these other drones if the Mini 5 is
I can tell you, when I just did a video on the Mini 4 Pro, and it was a real windy day. It was like almost 20-25 mile an hour winds. It was pretty gusty. All right. That thing held its own up there. And, and I ran, and what I did on purpose was I did master shots and also, do the point of interest POI, because the drone's on its own. And the gimbal was rock solid, rock steady on it. And then when I saw it coming down on the B-roll, it was, so you could tell, I mean, it was real windy, but it held its own. It did just an exceptional job up there. So, I mean, Yeah,
I may advise don't buy anything this year until the Mini 5 comes out, because the Mini 5 may be all the drone you ever need.
Yeah, and you are 100% right, Ron.
I'll disagree with that because I think that like the Air 3, it performs so much better than the Mini 4 with regard to the way it flies, etc. So I think there's going to be some people that are going to want a heavier drone no matter what.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. People, like for me, on a windy, normally I wouldn't have taken it up, but I wanted to test it and I wanted to see how it handled it and how it did. And I was pretty impressed with that. So, it's just one of those things that, for most people, most of us in the chat, most hobbyists, that's going to be a perfect drone for them. All right. It's going to do, you're going to get your family shots with that. You're going to take pictures of your house with that. You go out to the lake, take pictures of boats or natural, Mother Nature out there. It's going to be perfect for things like that.
And it's quiet, won't disturb the other people around you.
Exactly.
So let me run this by you guys. So what if DJI is kind of thinking the same way we are, and they're thinking, wow, what are we going to do to a Mini 4 to make it any better than what it is? It'd just be incremental. What if we don't see a Mini 5 this fall?
Yeah, what if we don't?
That's possible. It's always possible.
It may take them another 6 months or whatever, like that cycle we have between the Mini 2 and the Mini 3 Pro. But I'll give you another hypothetical, Marcus. What if they crack the wind thing? What if they can make a Mini 5 that's no longer affected by that flies as good in the wind as the Air or the Mavic 3?
Right,
what if they figure that out?
That'd be something. I'd be all in on that.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if we're supposing.
So somehow you'd have to make it more powerful, right? Which is going to use more juice, but maybe it's more efficient.
Improve the algorithm for it to adjust the wind up there to send enough power that each propeller to adjust to higher winds.
Yeah.
David, if you want to go ahead and post that, if you think it's worth us taking a look at, put it out on Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group, and if it's okay with Ron, put it out on Drone Nation as well too. We'll let people take a look at it.
The quick release props is a dream for all of us since the Mini 1. I mean, the 1-inch sensor. I mean, they see all the stuff he's saying gaining weight. 1-inch sensors gaining weight. The removal, the whatever you call it, the self-locking props are gaining weight. So it's hard to mention a bunch of stuff, and they're all weight gainers.
Yeah, I can tell you, I bought a real cheap drone. This is years ago, probably about 2018 or so, and it looked like a mini Mavic Pro at the time.
Okay.
Right? But it was the screw-in props. One of the props broke. Okay, so let me tell you, it took me a good 45 minutes to an hour to change out those props.
Oh
okay,
yeah.
with those screws, and those screws are so tiny. You got to do it like in a contained area. You know, I did it like in a big paper plate to do that because I knew otherwise I'd lose the doggone screws. So, but yeah, that's.
Hey, Bill, we got a question, chat from Brad Henderson. Maybe we can help him out. He says, "Where do you find a remote ID number at?" I suppose he's trying to register the drone.
Yeah, on a DJI drone, you're going to go to the About tab in the settings in the DJI Fly app, and you'll see it there.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. I mean, you know, and this is good. This is a good, healthy discussion here. You know, for what we can expect this year. I mean, you know, I'm gonna say this one thing. Oh yeah, and I got to share this before I forget. All right, it knocked my socks off. All right, when I paired up the DJI Mic 2 with the Osmo Action 4. Okay, I was like, okay, this is golden. This is absolutely golden. Okay,
yeah.
And what I did was what I did was I bought the shorter stick for the Osmo Action 4. I mean, it came with a long one, right. But I bought the shorter one because it actually has.
Oh, they have a shorter one available?
They have a shorter one available. Oh, I got it from Best Buy. It has a tripod base, so you can stand it up. That's what I was looking for. And I'll tell you what, I love that.
Was it a GoPro shorty stick?
Yeah, I love that magnetic base on there. Okay, and being able to get that on there, it was flawless. And I used it this weekend on Mother's Day. You know, I did some footage around it. I was getting it ready to take out for when we go to
Ohio.
Yeah, to Ohio. Up.
They sent it for review. Oh, you got the whole kit.
Oh, folks, you saw it here first, okay? You saw it here first. You know now that we're going to be seeing some
folks, you're under NDA on that or whatever. That's the Mic 3.
On the DJI Mic 2.
That's the new Mic 3.
Yeah, well, it says Mic 2 on there. So I think I already gave that up, Ron.
Okay.
Bill mentioned Mic 2, so I thought, well, it'd be a good opportunity to get it out.
Bill, you know what I've done with mine? I had the Mic 2 kit, but I've taken one of the mics out of the 2 kits and connected it permanently, bound it permanently to the Air. I mean the Action 4, and I keep it with the Action 4 and not with the mic anymore. So I don't have to get in the field and say, oh, I forgot to bring the.
You're always
mic.
connected.
So I can keep that one mic with the ear muff on, with the Action 4 at all times.
So here's my only question, Ron, but then you have to remember to charge it, correct?
Right, but those things, you just have to, if you plug it in once a month, you're good.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like one of those things you have to do it every time or whatever. I mean, unless you stand there and jabber jaw for hours or whatever,
What?
You only have to plug it in once in a blue moon.
Well, Ron, you and I are probably the biggest offenders in that regard.
Well, one of the things that I got from the Mic 2 that I got with the Pocket 3 was I got the DJI lavalier mic with the cord on it.
I got the Lav too,
because it's not, it's like when you attach the mic itself, it's kind of like it does one of these on your shirt.
Down, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
But if you lavalier mic, it's barely noticeable, but that audio from there is like crystal clear. It is absolutely crystal clear, and it has a nice feature. The way it is, it actually is worth what you're paying for it because the way they have that clip on there, okay, it bends, and you can have it to where it's facing really kind of forward where you want it. You don't want it.
It's not rubbing against your shirt. Yeah,
exactly. Okay,
Bill, it's cheaper than the Rode one, and I mean the Rode one has of course I think the Rode has that lock-in, that screw-in mechanism, but DJI you could put it under the I'm going to call it the belt loop and lock it in too. Anyhow, it's very affordable.
Well, I know we're getting off of drones, but I just want to say this. Anybody out there, if you're serious about your YouTube channel and you speak it all on your YouTube channel, good audio is a must. If people can't hear you and there's a bunch of wind noise and all that stuff, it is so distracting and they're just going to shut it off. This is your solution. I'm just telling you.
It doesn't matter how good the video looks if the audio stinks.
Yeah, yeah.
You can have the best video in the world. If you can't hear anybody, that's like,
Or you hear every other word from the wind.
Well, one of the things that I do, I'm going to give you guys, this is going to be a Build a Drone Reviewer secret that I'm going to reveal to everybody tonight for the first time. Okay. When I do my unboxing videos, okay, I let the natural sounds come out, like me opening the box and, unwrapping things and everything. But you know what I actually do is, and I still let that sound in there. Okay. But what I do is I record over that. Okay. I record, I get it up out on DaVinci and then I let it play and I hit sound recorder on my laptop and I record that as if I'm doing it live. Okay.
Oh, you're overdubbing.
Yeah. And exactly, you hear the sounds of all the boxes and everything. So it sounds like I'm live when I'm doing it, because I found myself a lot of times, I don't know what the name of something might be, and I don't want to say it's this thing and that thing and all that. No, I don't do that. I know what it is. And I know where the buttons are and everything. So it's better for you guys. Okay. Everybody out there. So this is a Build a Drone Reviewer secret for everybody. So
yeah, I do a lot of overdubs too, especially if the audio is bad in the field or I just didn't feel like doing. So I'll overdub a lot too.
It's all live on the Idaho Quadcopter channel.
There you go. There you go. So any closing thoughts tonight, guys?
Marcus?
Well, yeah. You guys have just made me think about this. I need to get that Mini 2 and the Mini 4K out and do a comparison video. So who knows? Maybe tomorrow. You never know.
Yeah, yeah. And I have some testing to do. I have not only do I have the Start RC filters for the Avata 2, but I have the freewheel ones too. So I need to get these out and test these in the field. But we never have any good weather anymore in New Jersey, so hopefully I get it done before Memorial Day.
So were those sent to you for a review, Ron?
The Start RC, but of course I have to pay for the freewheels myself.
Yeah, I was just curious.
But I never know when these are coming. So, I wanted to have something I knew was coming. So here's how I do it, Marcus. I never know when I'm getting Start RC, but as soon as I order the freewheel, then these show up almost the next day or whatever. Yeah. That's the way I force them to come.
Well, I'll tell you what'll be interesting, Ron, is comparing the two, quality.
And they're exactly the same kits. 4 NDs, the same ones, 816, 3264, non-polarized, so they're exact same filters. But Mark, I have a question for you. We'll talk about it off air. I put the Start RC filter on and took it off easily, but I can't get the freewheel one off.
Yeah, you got to pull it pretty hard. So be careful about holding that. I hold the camera with 2 fingers. I think Eddie was talking about that earlier too. And it'll come off, but
the Start RC one comes off. It's on there good too, but it wasn't. You can get off for the freewheel one. It feels like you're going to break it.
Yeah. Thank you, Barkley. Yeah,
I love Barkley.
It comes off, but you do have to pull it pretty hard.
Well, I listen to this. Okay, this really kind of like was probably one of the best pieces of news I've received for a while, as far as doing, YouTube is concerned. I got contacted by now my Tundra Nation Basics. There we go. My Tundra Nation Basics channel is growing really, really fast. I've gotten almost 500 subscribers. I'm almost at 2,000 hours. Okay, which is, I'm probably going to get that monetized for a ham radio channel because it's growing so fast. Well, one of the things, the company saw me and saw my channel, and they're going to send me a bed mat for the Tundra to review that. Okay. It's just, I was like so flabbergasted. And then they just told me, well, we can send you some mud flaps as well too. And there's a lot of other accessories that we have with our sister company. I'm like, go for it. And all they said they wanted was a picture. And I'm like, I can do a video. And they said, no, we just want a picture. That's fine. I said, I want to do a video on it too. They said, oh, absolutely. So they're thrilled and I'm thrilled too. So it's like, There's a win-win-win. And of course, I get all kind of stuff. My chargers that I'm going to get, we're going to, when I do my Christmas giveaway, I got 2 Mavic 3 chargers. I'm going to give those away. I got an Air 3 charger. I'm going to give that away. There's a bunch of stuff. We're just going to have, it's going to go into the prize closet here. So,
Bill, what do you know about that new 2025 4Runner?
The 2025 4Runner looks fantastic. I did see that, and I did hear a lot of talk about that. I like the drivetrain with that. That sounds fantastic.
Same as same drivetrain as the Land Cruiser, right?
Same drivetrain as the Land Cruiser. I think Toyota did themselves really, really well with that. Okay,
Bill, I'd love to see Toyota send you one of those out for review.
Well, you know what I would like to see. Okay, I told them, I said, if you guys want to send me a Sequoia to review, I won't have a problem with that at all. Okay.
So is the Sequoia based on the Tundra?
Exactly, it's the same chassis, 100%. 100%. You look at the front end of a Sequoia and the front end of a Tundra, you can't tell the difference.
Really?
Okay.
Oh yeah, they're exact. And the interior, same thing. The interior is the same. Exactly. Okay.
Well, if they want Toyota, send one of them out for review too.
Yeah, send me one of those as well. I have no problem with that. Well, the Tundras are made in one place.
You're going to have to, Eddie's saying you're going to have to disclose your sponsor on those videos.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disclose my sponsor on that. All the Tundras are made in San Antonio, Texas. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now this year, okay.
Right next to where my Chevy Tahoe is made then.
Where this is real interesting, okay? Right now, Tundras are sold in the United States, Canada, and Turkey, okay? Turkey, all right? Next year in 2025, they're going to Australia for the first time.
You have to move that damn steering wheel, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to have to. They're going to. Yeah, that's going to be.
If they don't, the Aussies are going to be upset at them.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Absolutely. Well, that's it for tonight, guys. I want to thank you guys for a great chat tonight, a great conversation here. And I'll repeat what we normally say every week. Get out there and fly, okay? Whatever you have, enjoy it. The weather's starting to get nicer everywhere that I know, except for Ohio on Friday with 80% rain. But get out there, enjoy it. Have a great time. And as always, guys, remember, it's a great day to fly. Take care. Have a great rest of your week.
Good night, everybody.